What's up, guys? Michael here, bringing you another episode of Chew on This today. I'm so excited for you guys to listen to my conversation with Zach Pope. We'll get to that in a second, but first, gotta give you some quick updates real quick. If you guys have been following the show, you know I post this every Sunday, but past 2 Sundays, I didn't post anything solely because of technical difficulties, personal matters, and just scheduling issues, which I will explain a little bit. Personal matters I don't really want to touch on too much, but in terms of technical difficulties, man, internet problems were amok. We had so many internet problems, and then we recorded an episode with Ash, friend of the show and one of my closest friends in real life as well. We had huge audio issues in the second half of the episode, so we didn't capture any of his audio. And then just a couple scheduling issues with other guests, which I don't blame anybody for because I had some scheduling delays and issues as well prior to that. Yeah, just a lot happening these past 2 weeks. Got my vaccine, though, the first part of it, and I will be vaccinated this upcoming week. So we're going to get some episodes in the bank so I could kind of take this week to recover as well. But I'm so excited to be back. I'm so excited to be talking with Zach. You guys know everyone I bring on the show I admire and respect immensely, or else I wouldn't be talking to them, and Zach is no exception to that rule. He's an absolute inspiration. I mean, his positive attitude and candor are what drew me to his channel in the first place, and it's insane to see his work ethic, and we get into all that stuff, as well as, some MCU talk, as I haven't really talked about Falcon and Winter Soldier on this channel, nor have I really talked about these 2021 releases. So we kind of touch on that a bit as well, and he kind of explains, what brought him into the YouTube business, the joy of it still, and how to kind of combat the haters and the toxicity that we often find in this film space. So excited for you guys to hear this conversation with Zach. It's good to be back, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. We'll see you on the next one. Peace. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Chew on This. Michael Chew here. I know it's been a minute. I have faced a little bit of delays with both personal matters and also guest schedule changes. My schedule being super crazy right now. I'm in school, but I'm super excited to be returning today for another episode with Zach Pope. What's up, Zach? How's it going, man?
Dude, I'm great. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here, talk whatever you want to talk about, dude. So let's do this, man.
Yes.
I like we were talking beforehand. I really like your positive attitude and the way that you have these like podcasts and the way that you just bring it to life. I think it's really cool and unique, and it's different inside this space. So I'm excited.
Well, man, I appreciate that. And we're definitely going to get into you being an inspiration for this show with your positivity, man. And I really appreciate you saying that. First things first, dude, I always like to ask guests that come on the show, what's the last movie you've seen?
Oh man. So I can't talk about it yet, but it was Without Remorse, the new Michael B. Jordan film.
Gotcha.
I got to watch that, but before that it was Voyagers.
Okay.
Which
Same
I know
here.
you saw too.
I just saw that. I'm down to talk about. I'm gonna get into some 2021 films later in the show, but we could start there for sure with some Voyagers talk.
Let's do it.
I think we're the only two people that have seen this movie. It feels like in this space.
Definitely in my review, I can gauge how people are. If my review gets like, if it's saturated, but there's a lot of views on it, I can tell, okay, a lot of people saw this thing. I know some people who saw this and it feels like it's kind of in the middle. Some people enjoyed it. Some people were entertained by it. I was entertained by it, but the film definitely lost me in the third act. Like I thought the film got like, the first 2 acts, I'm like, this is really smart. It's kind of clever. And then the whole third act, I was like, this is stupid. And they threw out their rules of space too. Like,
yeah, dude,
the kid, how do you breathe?
There's
how
a
did
scene.
You breathe?
Yeah, we don't want to get too into spoilers because you guys want to see it. But there's a scene in the last like 10 minutes of this movie that is just so devoid of logic. Yeah. It completely ruined that last very intense climactic moment, which was very good scene in my opinion as well.
Yeah, the second the door opened, that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Done. Should have been done right there, and it
Absolutely.
wasn't. And there's a couple other things like that frustrated me because I'm like, you have these smart ideas, and it just doesn't work. And I saw a great Letterboxd comment. I put it in my review. It said, this movie is Among Us, but horny. And I said, honestly,
absolutely,
you're not wrong in that. Yeah. But I liked it. It's enjoyable. Like I'll probably never watch the film again.
Yep.
And if someone asked me, should I go see it? I would tell them, yeah, why not? It's not. I've seen worse. I've seen way worse movies.
Absolutely. And all the people that are saying this is the worst movie of the year, it isn't for me for sure. Far from it. Yeah. But like you're saying, it was entertaining for me too. I had a fairly good time with the first 2 acts of the movie, just because of how crazy it would get in certain moments. I mean, some plot points were predictable. Some of the acting at times wasn't the best, but I was still very entertained. I thought Ty Sheridan did a really great job.
Yeah,
actually,
he's a good guy. He's a nice guy too. I met him at South by. I don't know if you know who Tyler Tompkins is when he was doing YouTube as well.
Yes,
but
yes.
We met. Tyler I got to meet at South by, and Ty Sheridan walks right past me. He goes, "I have to meet him," and he just like,
yeah.
he goes, "I don't want to be that guy, but I love you so." And this is right before Ready Player One was coming out.
Oh, wow,
so we
okay.
got to talk to him a little bit about it. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, I like him in this movie.
Yeah, I definitely thought he was one of the stronger elements, and what brief Colin Farrell we get in the film, I thought he was fantastic as well.
Yeah.
It's crazy
Even,
seeing him in a lot of these smaller roles.
Too.
Lily Rose Depp. Yeah, she was pretty good as well. So all in all, a very entertaining movie with some interesting visuals, but definitely falls apart with its themes and ideas as the plot gets more intense toward the end.
It tried to be smarter than it actually was.
Absolutely.
And then it just fell on itself. Completely.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Definitely.
But hey, we say go watch it just so you can gauge it for yourself. And I think that's the beauty of this show, and the beauty of what we do is just enjoying the discourse behind film, just talking about it, knowing what you liked about it, knowing what I didn't like about it, and seeing what thoughts we both bring to the table, and maybe you can teach me something and maybe I can teach you something. It's nice. Yeah,
that's how it works. That's how this whole thing works, man.
Absolutely. Let's get started, dude. I gotta ask, where did the love for film begin for you? Because you got the whole setup, dude. You got the whole setup, so you must be you're a big film fan.
Yeah, so there's actually a lot that came to it. So it's kind of a long story. So I've always loved movies. I've always loved movies, man. I mean, since I could remember, my parents, the only way they could get me to shut up was by putting me in front of a TV and putting a movie on.
Yeah.
My first film in theaters was Toy Story 2 or Iron Giant. Can't remember which one it was.
Two great movies either way.
Yeah.
You were set up for greatness.
So my parents, took me to see that. And then like ever since a young age, my dad doesn't like going to the theaters. He would go like if it was a movie that like I wanted to see super badly.
Gotcha.
I think honestly the last movie me and him saw in theaters was Terminator Dark Fate. I finally got him to go to a screener.
Awesome. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, but before I was doing the screener thing, it was probably This Is the End, to be honest with you. And it was only because I was like begging to go and see it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, like my parents aren't that big of a thing of going to the theaters. They took me when I was younger, but my grandmother was a big part of that. She would take me to the movies honestly twice a week. If there was a movie I wanted to see, she'd take me to see it. She took me to see Tropic Thunder, dude. I somehow convinced her to take me to see Tropic Thunder. Yeah. So a big part of my life has always been film. It's always been my escape. Anytime like I go out with friends, it was movies. There was one summer where me and my best friend literally saw every single movie in theaters.
That's awesome.
We didn't care what it was. We would go and see it. And we would, there would be weeks where it was just say the Avengers was out and there's no new movies.
Yep.
We would see the Avengers. We saw the Avengers like 10 times in theaters that summer.
Wow, I love it.
Just because of that. So it just, but then it's funny. So getting into this space, I didn't have like all this stuff. I liked movies and I always wanted to collect movies, but I didn't have money and, I wasn't going to beg my parents to buy me every single movie in the world. So second I got a job, that's the first thing I started doing was buying movies. Yeah. I said, it's my money. I can do whatever I want. You got the bills. You got all that stuff.
Do you remember what your first Blu-ray was?
I do. That's a good question. It was Pacific Rim because I would always do DVDs, and I don't remember what happened was I bought a PS4 and I'm like, wait, this is a Blu-ray player. I can get Blu-rays now. Yeah. And so that was my first. So then I started converting all my DVDs to Blu-rays because I had a ton of DVDs at that point. So I started going to Blu-rays and I'm slowly starting to do 4K. Some 4Ks are better than Blu-rays, some aren't, so I don't do it.
Exactly.
But so that was a big part of me. But then around 2015, I was graduating high school and I was like, man, I want to do this. I want to start talking movies on YouTube because my friends, I talk movies with them, but they weren't into it as much as I was. Of course,
I'm in the same boat, man. I get you completely.
And so like one of my friends, like they would literally make not fun of me, like they were into it. But they would always joke around and be like, Zach, stop talking about movies. I'm like, yeah, I love movies, man. So I think the girl I was dating at the time, not going to get into too much things about that. Terrible stuff in there.
Gotcha. We've been there. We've all been there.
Yeah. Didn't end the best. But within that relationship, the thing I missed out on a lot of movies during that time, to be honest. It was always what she wanted to watch, never what I wanted to watch.
Gotcha.
And so I started doing these reviews, but I didn't tell her. And, what happened was she found out I was doing them, and she wasn't like mad or anything, but she came off as not supportive to me. And a couple months later, I found out she was cheating on me and stuff. So
sorry about that, man.
All that it's fine. It's whatever. I'm with a girl that's way more supportive now. So like that,
glowing and happy, bro.
Yeah.
Shows,
And that's the best thing about it. She supports me. We argue about movies sometimes because she has a completely different perspective on some films than I do. But that's the thing. And after that, I said, I'm going to start doing this. And honestly, the first 30 videos I made were absolute crap. They're all private. Yeah, they're private. I don't show them. I sometimes people will ask me for advice, and I'll send them like one or two of them and be like, this is where I started and this is how you can start too. So, but I came to the feeling that, I stopped completely, and then I won tickets to see Batman versus Superman early.
Oh, awesome.
And so I went to see it the week before my birthday, and I was completely disappointed.
I'm sure. As many of us were initially.
I came and I posted on Facebook. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like, posted a giant review. And my friend literally screenshot it, sent it to me, and said, why aren't you doing reviews anymore? I said, I just wasn't my thing. And so this is the time he was working at a movie theater. He goes, let me take you once a week. I'll take you. You don't have to pay. So then we started doing that.
Wow.
And every movie he'd take me to, I would review. And then I started going by myself, feeling more comfortable to go by myself and reviewing. And ever since Central Intelligence and Finding Dory, once a week, I have posted a video, at least once a week. And then I think it was 2 years later, I had a really close friend go, you could really, there's early screenings everywhere. So I started winning tickets to go to these early screeners. Would go sit in line for 4 hours, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever done that before.
Oh, yeah, man. My first one was Power Rangers. I was there for 5 hours, dude. 5 hours. It was
my
insane.
first one, because Batman vs. Superman, I thank God didn't have to wait. My first one was Green Room. I don't remember if you know that A24.
I love that movie.
I didn't get in because I didn't know you had to wait. So I was so pissed. So then, a couple months later, I got Nice Guys. And I'm like, down, I'm going. Went and waited in line for 4 or 5 hours, got in. A couple months later, I got Spider-Man Homecoming, which that was the one that I'm like, I need to review this. So I called out of work, said, I'm going to go wait all day. I literally sat down and waited. I'm not joking. Probably waited almost 10 hours.
No way.
And we almost still were not guaranteed to get in.
Isn't that so insane, dude? That they could just turn you back after waiting that long.
Yeah.
It's happened to the best of us, but it's insane.
It does, but I did it. And that was my first big review. That was my first 2,000 views, and I'm overnight. And I'm like, okay, so this is something I can do. I started kind of talking to the people who ran those. And what happened was I applied to a site that I was still a part of, just Sandwich on Films. And they ended up taking me in, and they would send me to certain screeners, smaller films. And I knew I made it when I got Black Panther. I knew I'm doing something right when I got the Black Panther invite. And ever since then, there's a lot of stuff that happened during COVID to get screeners and stuff, but definitely before that, it was I had to plan these schedules, and it was more than just 2 videos a week. It was coming down to 5, 7.
Yeah.
I think I'm on a run. I think I've only missed in the past month, I think I missed 1 day on a video, which thank God. I'm tired, but it's a busy time again,
man.
So
there's so much stuff. There's right now, it feels like there's just stuff coming out constantly. Too much at times. Absolutely, it's insane, and I don't know how you keep up with it. What I want to ask you next is, dude, what have you learned about yourself through this process? Because stepping it up to that level after not thinking about doing this at all, it's crazy, and it's really admirable. It's awesome.
Man, what did I learn about myself? I learned that it's okay to be a geek. Honestly, in high school, I hit it. And, it's funny, once I started doing these reviews, I had people reaching out to me, and I'm like, I've barely talked to you in high school, and now you want to talk to me about movies and stuff? What? And some kids who again, not close with in high school, not that close with, reach out to me, and I'm having these great conversations with them every here and there. Or people watching my videos and say, hey, great review. I went and watched that. I just learned that it's okay to be a geek. Yeah. The biggest thing I also learned, though, is in this day and age, you don't need that much to start. And I'll tell you right now, a lot of bare minimum of people, if they follow me enough, they can figure it out. I film off my phone. I don't believe you need a camera. I don't believe you need the biggest things in the world. Absolutely I started with my phone. Well, I started with a laptop camera. That was terrible. But then I learned you could do it with a phone. Learned lighting, learned editing, microphone. I see you have a Yeti mic. I have a Yeti mic too. testing different microphones, see which ones I like. Still prefer the Yeti overall.
It's awesome, man. It's a great mic. Absolutely.
But and that's just how it goes, is how can I make this work? I bought adapters to plug these into my phone. Then I found out, oh, it's better to just do the audio separate. Like I've just learned a lot from this, but I learned, and the biggest thing is, we live in a day and age where, yes, while the market is completely saturated, but you can literally do it if you want to. Like it's literally all in your hands. You can start a podcast, you can edit, you can make videos. The biggest thing you probably can't do is stream video games, but if you have a console, almost every console can do that nowadays.
Now, yeah, so it's insane. And that's something we just touched upon our last episode with Eric Striffler, where we were talking about just looking at your phone camera settings. You can do 4K on most phones now.
Dude,
then. It's crazy.
So I just got this new iPhone because my other iPhone I had could film in 4K, but you couldn't edit in 4K.
Gotcha. Okay.
So this one, both. So now I'm having the best of both worlds because I edit on my phone too. The only time I port it to my computer is if it's like something massive, like a video essay, or I'm planning on jumping into more short films, because I used to do a bunch of fun ones with my friends.
Oh, awesome.
Now that more time's opening up, that's some stuff I want to jump back into. That'll definitely be edited on my computer instead of a phone. I've tried that. It burns up and it messes up the clips and stuff like that. So, but we're literally in day and age. Like, if you're watching this or listening and you are like, I want to start doing this, if you have a phone, you could literally start tomorrow.
Pick it up and just begin. And I was going to ask that later on, but I mean, that's honestly the ultimate advice that you can give, is just to begin, to start, because
every time someone asks me, I tell them, start now, man.
You have to
start and just find a plan, like be organized, plan a schedule. Literally, I didn't even have a tripod at first, dude. I stacked boxes. Like, I had all these video game statue boxes that I said I'd stack them up, put the phone on top of it, and then just have it facing me. Now I have like literally a closet full of fucking equipment. I'm just like, and some of it's like, I don't even use this. I don't need it. But you never know. Like, it's just you slowly start building up. You know, you don't need that much stuff. I mean, even if you don't have a fancy phone, say your mom does, take your mom's phone and start filming, man, if you want to. So
absolutely, it's crazy how much the game has changed, and even the past 4 or 5 years, where you're right, there is a crazy amount of people doing exactly what we do now. It's good. It's
insane
and good. I feel like we need more voices in this space, positive voices, preferably, obviously.
Dude, there are so many YouTubers I see with such a high following that are the most toxic people in the world.
It's insane. It's insane.
I don't know if you saw on Twitter the stuff that happened with the Zack Snyder thing of him calling out that one.
Yeah, Geeks,
dude, I saw that, something like that. Yeah. And I'm like, seriously? Yeah. They're the ones getting all this love. But I've recognized that, man. People feed, and depending on the thing. So like Marvel, DC, if I talk crap about Marvel or DC, no matter what the fan base thinks, I will be attacked.
Yeah.
Either way, shape, or form. And it sucks. So you always have to walk that line, and the thing is I get criticized a lot for not giving bad reviews. The thing is, I don't watch a lot of bad films. I try not to. And if I do, if I don't have to review it, I'm not going to review it. Now, if I have a passion to talk about it, I will. Don't get me wrong, I will. But I see the positives in a lot of different things. I see the negatives in a lot. But you guys, if you've never tried to make a short film, you don't know how hard it is to make a movie.
Exactly.
People put time and effort. Now, I can go see a blockbuster like I don't know, Transformers. They don't. I mean, there's a lot of people hardworking on there, but given that script was probably written in a weekend.
Exactly. That's honestly the difference. And I think it's an unfair criticism, and it's a criticism I've seen of myself, yours, and many others, where we just like movies. Like, we enjoy watching movies. And that's what people don't understand, is that there are so many bad movies. Yes. But there's always positives for the most part, or I can be entertained by a bad movie, and that's okay. Yeah. People don't understand that. It's crazy.
And that's the thing. Like, or a movie's just fine. It doesn't like as long as a movie, like I'm trying to think of the last time a movie honestly pissed me off. And as we're talking about this, I can kind of go through my letterbox and figure it out. I'm sure there's been one, maybe I don't even know if it was last year, probably 2019. No, last year, Antebellum. That movie actually pissed me off.
Yeah, that was rough. Super rough.
Because of the twist.
Horribly themed.
Horribly done.
Everything was awful about it.
I got attacked too. How dare I say that twist was bad? But guess what? If I said that twist was great, I would have been attacked either way. So it's like, The Grudge. That movie pissed me off. That movie was bad. I still believe that Christian movie. You know, I don't have a thing with Christian films, but I didn't know it was a Christian movie going in. I'm sitting there, and I think the first 20 minutes, I'm like, they said God like 30 times. This is
what's happening? yeah. It's sometimes, and that's also sometimes a good thing, just going into a film not knowing anything, but when it turns on you like that and you just realize, oh, I got an hour 20 left here, well, what am I in for?
I try not to watch, honestly. Like, I do a lot of trailer reactions. I watch that first trailer. Sometimes I'll do the second one, depending on the movie, but sometimes, most of the time, I regret it. Like Dune, I'm planning on not seeing like any other trailers. Spider-Man No Way Home, honestly, I don't want to see a single trailer for it. In the market we are both in, you kind of have to, especially on social media.
It's so tough.
Dude, here's my thing. I already know how that trailer is going to end. You're going to see Tom Holland swing.
Zach, yes.
And then you're going to see the other two Spider-Man swing right behind him.
Yes. I hope that you're manifesting that into the universe right now.
Dude, I've told every person I'm like, they're in the movie. There's too much credible things that have come out that they are to deny that they're in the film.
It would be insane, if they weren't.
I don't think they're in the film that much. I'll be honest, from what I've heard and understand, I don't think they're in the film that much.
Agreed.
But also, people need to understand, a small amount of runtime can be a lot. People, if you go and look at runtime stuff, like Kirsten Dunst in the original Spider-Man trilogy has 28 minutes through the entire trilogy. Wow. You would never expect that.
No, not at all.
So someone might say, oh, Toby's only in it for 20 minutes. 20 minutes is a lot of minutes for one movie. And I've already said it. I think the next Spider-Man film will be a Spider-Verse film. It'll be a straightforward Spider-Verse film.
I hope so.
And all signs point to it. And I think Sam Raimi directs it. I think Toby dies in it, and I think Miles will be from his world.
Wow. That's my goodness, guess, Zach, you just made every fan just get a little more excited right now with that theory. That sounds awesome. That'd be sick,
man.
Yeah, we got, and when that trailer comes out, I'm gonna message you and be like, yeah, it happened.
I hope it does. And if it doesn't happen, I mean, honestly though, if they don't show him in the trailer, good. I don't want to see him in the trailer, but it at this point, it's the worst kept secret in Hollywood. I mean, even keeping Charlie Cox a secret's kind of dumb at this point. I know it's, from what I understand, him being in it's like the minuscule thing ever. But at this point,
the hype is behind it. So where Marvel would be making a severe mistake to not
market. It's like when the first Justice League came out and they didn't market Superman in the film.
Exactly.
We know he's in the movie.
Unbelievably strange, because there would be no Justice League without Superman. We all know.
Literally, yes.
Yeah. Touching back on to the element of getting backlash for positive reviews. I mean, I think I've briefly mentioned this on Twitter once upon a time, but dude, even with a small channel like mine, talking about that I like The Last Jedi, just brings forth people I've never seen or talked to or heard from ever into my social media bubble and just attacking me. And it's insane. So how do you stay so positive and happy through that? Because you're making videos, like you said, almost every day about various different things. So that's coming from every direction, positive and negative, man.
So it's funny. When I started, it used to bug the shit out of me. Honestly, because I got the first review I did where I noticed I did something was Ghostbusters, the remake. I watched it. I said, not that bad. Could have been way worse, man.
Absolutely.
And I had 2 people email me telling me to go kill myself. I'm like, give me a break. I have literally less than 50 subscribers, and you're gonna tell me to go kill myself.
Dude? Oh my goodness.
And then like the Last Jedi thing, man. You know, it's funny. I didn't get so I walked out in that film, and this in Justice League, were the last time that I had rose tinted glasses. But Last Jedi I've come to appreciate a lot. I've come to really love that film in a lot of different ways. I can go into like an hour conversation on that movie. But
I actually really love that film, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on it briefly.
So I walked out of Last Jedi, and I was disappointed, but I didn't feel that way. I felt none of my theories came true. But I kind of loved everything they did, besides a couple like small things. So I go home, review the movie, put it up, and everyone's pretty positive. I didn't have any negative comments. And then like a week later, everyone I'm talking to, oh, that movie was terrible, blah, blah, blah. They ruined Luke. I'm like, what do you mean? They made Luke a fascinating character.
Yeah, absolutely.
Luke was always my least favorite out of the trio in the original when growing up, man. So it was interesting to hear that. And sometimes that happens. Like, honestly, I see a lot of love for the Zack Snyder Justice League right now. Guarantee in a couple of years, people are gonna be like, it's too long.
1,000%.
Blah, blah.
1,000%.
It always happens. And for me, my opinion changes within a week. I'll know how I feel within a week. Last Jedi, I knew within a week how I felt. But again, you come to appreciation over time. I think time is how much it shows how much a film works.
100%.
So I get like the Zack Snyder thing, but like, after a week how you truly feel about film. And I think from then on, you start to love a film more.
Yeah.
I think a big film for me of that is Inglourious Basterds. Man, I hated the movie at first. I did
Really?
not like it. I didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know what it was. Like I didn't hate it. I guess it's over. But I liked it. I thought it was kind of disappointing. Watched it again and was like, what the hell was I thinking? Then you keep watching. That's how some films work. Joker's
Absolutely.
a big one. Walked out of that film, liked it, liked his performance. Week later, I'm like, and that's it. I went and saw it again. So that film is very subjective and interesting. But you ask, how do I stay positive? At first, man, honestly, sometimes I would only reply back to the people who were mean. And I would be a dick back. I'd fight. I would argue and fight because that's my mentality.
It's the natural I mean, you're human, right?
Yes,
it's the natural instinct to defend yourself and defend your opinion.
I got attacked in a Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 2. Is that are you caught up on it?
I haven't. I've seen only part of the most recent episode.
Okay, but you're caught up on the first 3, right?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
So you know the part with the cop?
Yes, after they go to Isaiah's house.
I got crapped on for that. I didn't think they needed the scene. Not because of the race stuff. I thought that was brilliant. But it just was like there to be there. Where like I feel like if they would have,
absolutely.
I feel like if they would have shown like dove deeper in that scene than just it ending with Bucky getting arrested, I would have been like, okay, there's more. There was more to that scene, and that's what I was hoping. And it just felt like it was there to be there, honestly. But I got attacked, and people didn't get my statement, and I'm like, no, I love the scene. I get the context.
Yeah.
But in reality, that scene should have been way deeper than it actually came out to be.
I feel that way about a lot of the show, actually, and I want to get into that in a little bit. Yeah, I feel that way about a lot of the show.
Same, crazy. Man. So I'm glad you get that too. But and that's and that's my thing is that. But I try not to attack anymore. I honestly try to reply to every single person. I care a lot's a big one that I've been getting a lot of hate on. Mulan was a big one last year that I got a lot of hate on because I love those 2 movies. And it's fine if you don't agree with me, but like, have a simple discussion. A lot of these people I don't even think see the movies or can't look at both perspectives. Like I said, I Care a Lot is awesome. Now the concept is terrible. It's a terrible person.
Yeah.
But sure. I'm not cheering for them. I'm cheering for the film. I think it speaks a lot. So
it's funny how that often, I think that's like a topic of debate that's happened a lot recently, where it's like people aren't able to differentiate characters from the actual
movie,
actor or the film, or like you liking a movie. For example, like I like The Departed. So many of the characters in there are scumbags. But does that make it a bad movie? No, I mean it's still fantastic. It's still amazing.
And I said today, I like John Walker. I said that after today's episode. How you support it? I like him. The role is literally like the performance is so good, man.
Absolutely. Stop. Wyatt Russell is awesome in that show. He's awesome. It's
so good.
It's a very tricky field to navigate, but I mean, it's going to happen no matter what. Like you said, no matter what, there's always going to be someone that isn't happy with it. And it just,
or has something to say.
Opinion. Yeah.
I mean that's all, and that's fine. Film is subjective, but let's have that subjective discussion.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said too, I mean, my opinion on so many films have changed as I've gotten older. You know what I mean? It's like,
what's the biggest one for you?
Ooh, the biggest one might be X-Men Apocalypse, actually.
Really? Did you like it?
I like it now. Yeah, but when I first watched it, I was very, very...
I'm the opposite. I
understand. I completely understand why. 100%. Because I was in that bubble where I was like, I'm a huge X-Men fan.
Yeah.
So walking into that movie expecting one thing and walking out just being like, well, that was just a lot of CGI stuff blown up and not really the heart of X-Men, you know?
No, and I get that. In fact, I'll say this. When I go back to visit those films, I always sit and say, and say the biggest saving grace is always Michael Fassbender.
Thank you, man. And James McAvoy.
James McAvoy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the biggest fan of Days of Future Past either. I
Okay,
like it. I
okay.
really like it, but
Mhm.
I don't get the hype. I love First Class though. I think First Class is the best.
I
out of
love
all
both those movies. Yeah. First Class is amazing.
Dark Phoenix, not great either, but I don't think it's that terrible. I think
Me
it's just
neither,
boring.
dude. Me neither.
Like,
I don't think it's that bad.
The worst X-Men films, 3 are Origins. That those are still the
Origins
rest are
is rough for
the
sure.
rest are just at least watchable. But I get that, man. I'm a big X-Men fan. I'm so excited to see what the MCU does with them.
Me
I'm
too.
so excited to see what Deadpool 3 is within the MCU, or however much they tie it in. I'm also worried about that too.
I'm unbelievably nervous, dude. I mean, especially with the little teases we got in WandaVision, right? We were all kind of expecting something out of that. I want to ask you, how did you feel about that? As we're gonna move into some Marvel talk here, how did you feel about that Ralph Boner twist?
So first off, I loved WandaVision, but that I thought that was literally the biggest shot in the face you could possibly do to a fan.
Yeah,
I get the meta-ness of it. You should have just casted a different actor, though. I get it. 100%. You wanted it to make that discussion, but you could have literally casted anyone else.
Exactly.
Anyone else. And it would, for me, I still think it would have worked.
Yeah.
Because then you could have been like, oh, is this another Quicksilver from a different universe? Is this not? The Ralph Boner joke kills it. And it sucks because Evan Peters is an excellent actor.
So good in that show, too. He's so good in that show.
It's just, for me, it's kind of, or just bring back Aaron Taylor Johnson.
At that point, they just should have, honestly.
You should have. And then I don't know. There's multiple things you could have done. I don't know. I just think the joke felt sour. Now, I do understand that ending episode was filmed after COVID. There's a lot of issues behind the scenes of stuff getting actors back and forth. They cut a lot out of that last episode. Mm-hmm. And I'm not that last episode, the more I thought about it, is actually my least favorite episode in the entire show.
Mine as well, dude. I feel that so
but I don't know if you saw it, dude. I have a VHS I bought of every single WandaVision episode. Some guy creates a VHS, and that's what the Spider-Man is. Yeah, let me see. I'll grab it.
Oh, that is so sick. Yeah, please. Oh my goodness, that is sick. How much was that, dude? If you don't mind me asking.
It was $40, but this guy customs builds it so there's no commercials, except the commercial they made, but it just seamlessly goes into each and every episode.
Oh crap!
And he builds it. His name, I made a video on it, so if you want to go check it out, he's gonna restock these. He's done it twice. He says it's his fastest selling thing for good reason. So
yeah, that's sick.
But it's totally worth it, dude. Like I bought that one, Midsummer, Spider-Man, mid-90s.
I did see your Midsummer one, and that cover is beautiful.
Yeah, so he's done Hereditary, Parasite, Once Upon a Time. You can also order customs from him. Wow. I want to do Spider-Verse. That's the one I really want.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna have to look into this after we get off here. That sounds sick. I gotta find a working VHS player as well, though.
Dude, that's my thing. I walk downstairs and we have one, and I'm like, God, please do not. I was like, please do not break this. Please do not break this, because it hasn't been turned on in years.
How devastating would that be if you just threw that thing in there and just broke? Oh my goodness, I can't imagine.
I would have been so sad, but it worked. It worked. It worked.
Awesome. So, yeah.
But yeah, no, man, dude. Honestly, just go to your like local Goodwill or something. You'll probably find it.
Yeah, I gotta pick one up. I gotta get one. Start recollecting VHSs now.
Yeah, I'm just see. That's my thing with VHSs. I'm collecting what I want. I'm not collecting everything. I have a bunch of Blu-rays that like I sit on. I'm like, I'm never gonna watch this again, but I can't sell it because I'll get it $1.
Yeah, dude. Isn't that? Oh man. Okay. Briefly touching on that, dude. I have like not that much storage space. So after I watch a movie and realize I'm never gonna watch this again, what am I to do with it? I have no clue. I feel bad just like giving it away or selling it for, like you said, like $1, right? I mean, they're expensive. They're really expensive.
That's why, man, it's weird. Last year I didn't buy that many Blu-rays because not that many movies came out. The only movies I really bought were stuff that I needed for research or stuff that was coming in the future, like a bunch of Zack Snyder films, finishing off some certain collections. It's weird though, because like I have a lot of movies I'll probably never watch again. But I still want them because like weirdly enough, like you never know, like you might be like, maybe I kind of want to pop this one in or something. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
I just rewatched 2014's RoboCop, which is another movie I like that I got a lot of flack for.
I've never seen it.
It's a really cool movie, dude. I dig it a lot, and I've heard that. I thought about selling it and just rewatched it a couple weeks ago. Man, it's still so much fun. I'm glad. And you're right, dude. It goes back to the whole thing about revisiting films you've seen once before. You grow a new appreciation for it as your lens changes as you watch more films, you know?
Yeah, and that's the beautiful part of movies is just, and that's why like you and me, like we just love film. We love watching and digesting every single
Absolutely.
thing. Now I'm not gonna lie, like if I hear Tom and Jerry's ass, I'm not gonna
I still
watch
haven't
it.
seen it. Yeah,
It's the same.
exactly.
So I don't know if you heard about the Zack Snyder stuff, how the
Of
if you watch
course.
Tom. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I heard that, I'm like, there's no way. I got up, walked in my room, turned on Tom and Jerry,
There it
and
is.
it's the aspect ratio is Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I told myself I don't want to watch the full thing. I want to make sure. So I'm skipping through it to make sure I can see the ending. If I can see the credits, we're good.
Yeah.
So I saw the credits. I'm like, it's there. Went back, started. I'm like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And it buffered, stopped, switched to Tom and Jerry, but in that same aspect ratio.
You're not the first person to tell me
pissed.
that. That's so
mad.
dude. You should have just seen Tom and Jerry in that aspect ratio. Would have made it a more interesting experience for sure.
Might have more appreciated it in
Honestly,
some way, shape, or form.
The artistic integrity of Tom and Jerry would have shown through for sure.
But yeah, man, movie's just a big part. Like I put it like someone asked me like what's like a big part of it going, and I'm like, dude, the movie theater experience is unlike anything. Like I just went and saw Godzilla versus Kong. I saw it at home first and I really liked it. Went in and saw it in theaters, so much better. 100. Like we went in and saw it in a sold out IMAX theater, as much as a sold out theater could be during COVID.
Right now,
and this is in Arizona, and these people, this group of 8 drove 400 miles to see this film because their theaters still are not open.
Oh my goodness.
And at first I'm like, please don't be the annoying people that talk through it all.
Yeah.
Dude, they got loud when they needed to get loud, and they got quiet when they needed to get quiet.
Yeah.
They were cheering, and I loved it. And I literally said, I don't know any of their names. I'm not going to remember what they look like, but I can definitely tell you that's an experience I will never forget, because there's nothing like sitting in and I get, you can get crappy people in a movie. That's totally, I understand it.
Yeah.
But when you get that great audience, and when you're laughing through a comedy, or you're sitting there, and I've said it, like Infinity War. When Infinity War ended, this old lady came by herself, and she turned to me and she heard me and my friends talking about it, and she goes, "Please tell me there's another one." Where like me and my friends know there's another one, she didn't.
Yeah.
And like that's a big thing that I'm like, you feel that bond, and that's what films do. Films bring people together that you would maybe never have talked to in your entire life.
Exactly. It's crazy. And that's funny. When Justin leaving the theater last night watching Voyagers, I was walking back to the parking lot and someone else was in the same theater as me. And we're walking back and he just turns to me and he goes, "Isn't it just great to be back at the theater again?" And yeah, it feels so nice. And even a movie like Voyagers or Godzilla vs. Kong, which I didn't love, I still had so much fun just seeing that AMC intro logo pop up, smelling the popcorn. It's a unique experience, unlike any other. And I think what you're saying is true. I mean, I remember watching an early screening of Get Out, and that audience experience was unlike any other.
Great.
Amazing. And man, it feels good to be back at the movies. I can't wait for this summer, man.
Dude,
so
that's
many crazy
why,
stuff coming out.
I started talking to myself. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I know I get a lot of, I'm very thankful for the screeners I get. Sometimes I gotta really try to get them. I don't know, man, if I want to see Mortal Kombat at home for the first time. I told myself flat out though, I'm not watching Dune at home. I don't care. I will see that in theaters.
You have to. IMAX and all, do it. You got to.
I know someone who saw it too.
Really? Can we give a brief
I can say,
what they thought?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
They said it would be their favorite film they've seen in 6 years.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for this movie. Dude, I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan. I love this stuff.
He's also seen that. He's the one that goes to those screenings, and he tells me the lowdowns on like films way in advance.
I like that. We all have
like
those
if you ask me
connects.
about if you ever want to know about a movie, just ask me and I'll
100%.
probably tell you yes or no if he's seen it or not.
100%.
I think the only ones he like they never do out here is Disney. Like Disney films they don't do.
Ooh, Disney will never let go of their movies.
No, they're so quiet on them.
Yeah. Talking about Disney again, man. I know I saw it on Twitter this morning. You were talking about, I think you bring up a very, very interesting point, and one that I agree with this, especially with Falcon Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
I so badly wish this was a film instead of a show.
Goddamn, please, yes.
So badly, because I mean, I don't know. I've watched some of your reviews on it, but I haven't seen your last two. But I'm in the same boat where it just feels like every idea and theme is kind of half baked because we just don't have enough time.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't really think about the movie thing until today's episode. Where, me and Griffin were talking about it, Griffin from Film Speak, and we were just discussing, like, there's so many ideas and so many things they've introduced already, and there's 2 episodes left, and I feel like I don't know the end game. I don't know the story.
Not
There's
at
a
all.
lot of great character stuff. There's great character stuff.
Agreed.
There's great introductions, but what is the story?
Yeah.
I thought the story was Falcon coming into his own as Captain America. Like, that's the way I was sold on the show.
Right, exactly.
That's what I thought it was announced to be, and Bucky kind of being there along his side. And we got a little bit of that in the first 2 and then gone. Yeah. And I get there's elements of it there. We know he's going to end up with the shield. Like, we know he's going to.
Has to be so, of course.
But, like, for me, it's like, if this is a character piece, that's fine. WandaVision was a character piece for the most part. Mm-hmm. But the mystery was what's going on.
Yeah.
Falcon, it's a character piece, but what is the story? We're going here with Zemo. We're doing this. Mm-hmm. We're doing that. John Walker's introduced. We have Isaiah now introduced. We have his son introduced. Who is this Carly girl? What are the Flag Smashers' purpose? What is this? Sharon Carter's back. Who is the power broker or whatever?
Crazy. So much is
too
happening.
Much.
Yeah.
Where if you had a movie, you could dedicate that time to Bucky, Sam, and if you wanted to, John Walker, maybe a little bit of Carly. But I'm going to be honest, I doubt Carly will be a main player next season. You know what I mean?
It doesn't feel like it.
I don't know if the Flag Smashers are something in the comics. Maybe I'm wrong, but
it's funny. I think actually Flag Smasher is just a character, like individual character in the comics.
So
yeah.
I don't see them doing much more with the character. So I get you got to flesh them out because it's a show, but we have 2 episodes left.
Yeah.
You got to move it forward. You have to. And each episode's only getting longer. Like this episode's almost an hour. Next week's episode is an hour. Yeah. It's an hour and 1 minute. In my opinion, WandaVision's last episode should have been an hour and 1 minute.
Please, yeah, that's another thing. And but going back to that last episode, definitely the biggest problem is that it feels so rushed. We get White Vision, we get Agatha Harkness, that whole double battle, and as sick as those fights were, it's just like this is all happening right now. And because of that, we get a lot of, like, Monica Rambeau, for example, gets kind of pushed to the side by the end of it. And it's like we were building this whole storyline leading up to this moment, and she didn't do anything. It's crazy. And that's the same problem I'm having with Falcon Winter Soldier, where I'm liking the show. There's so many cool moments. I like all the characters. Like you said, John Walker, man, is a very interesting character, and Wyatt Russell plays him amazingly. And because of that, it feels like there's way too much happening. And you're right. It takes completely away from what the show should be about, Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's what we came to see.
And that's the thing. And honestly, I know you haven't finished this episode, so I'm not going to get too much into it, but I feel like Bucky's gotten more development than Sam. And absolutely, and I came for this show for Sam because I feel like we've gotten a lot of Bucky already.
Yes. And that's a story that we've seen a beginning, middle, and end almost in a way. And this is kind of him dealing with all that. But Sam, we've never really gotten to know completely ever. And
that's where I'm just, I like the show. Me
too.
Right now, if I were to rank it with everything else in the MCU, it'd probably be pretty low. Same. Sadly. And it sucks. And that's the thing. I enjoy everything in the MCU. Like I there's one film I don't like to revisit, and that's Dark World. That's literally the one I haven't watched in years. I don't care to. I have
never seen it again. Not once. Not
I've
one
watched
time.
it twice, and that's it. But this is one that WandaVision I've revisited. Am I gonna revisit this one? We'll see. We'll see how the last 2 episodes go. I don't see them. It just feels like a setup. Like it just feels like something that they're setting up for the next film.
Yeah.
I'll end this with is I hope Mackie ends up leading the Avengers. I hope he's the leader.
Yeah. I mean, it would just be so wrong at this point for any other.
It wouldn't make sense.
It wouldn't make sense. Bucky can't be Captain America. You know what I mean? There's no way.
I don't see like Captain Marvel leading it. I don't see Doctor Strange. I don't see Spider-Man. He's too young. I don't see Thor. I mean, I think Chadwick Boseman probably would have led it, but everything that's kind of gone down, sadly. Yeah. But it just comes down to that. It's like, what are we doing with this story? Let's move this thing along. Let's see. So I'm hopeful. I'll be honest though, it does worry me for the rest of the shows coming up soon.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
not
Loki's
Loki
coming out.
Okay, Loki. Okay. I've heard the guy who wrote Loki has pretty much written like the next 3 Marvel things. He did Loki. He's done Doctor Strange 2. He's
Wow.
doing the Kevin Feige Star Wars film. He's doing Loki season 2. He's doing another Marvel film. So I entrust with that.
They have faith in him, obviously.
I'm not that nervous about Miss Marvel, weirdly enough, just because it's a new character. I'm more worried about Hawkeye. I'm more worried about Moon Knight, because Moon Knight's another one. Why is that not just a movie?
So true. Especially you get Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight.
Yeah.
It feels so strange to not just
and you
make
have
it a film.
2 directors who I don't know if you've seen Synchronic. That film is really unique, and they're doing the Moon Knight show.
Problems and all, that movie is one of a kind. Truly.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. And they have a very unique visual style.
And I've heard all their films are like that. And I heard Synchronic's their worst film, apparently.
Yeah, I'm meaning to check out. I think The Endless is their most popular film, which I need to see still. It's on Netflix, so I need to check it out.
So that's just the thing I'm waiting on. And honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, like, whoever that power broker is, I mean, goddamn,
the reveal has to be amazing at this point, because we've gotten nothing but talk about this character. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe it's Sharon Carter, and that's not saying from anything from this episode. I've thought that kind of since the 3rd one, but I'm like, please no, guys, please. It's not. It's another Mephisto thing, man. So
yeah. I wanted to touch on as well. Does this affect your excitement for Black Widow in any way? Because that's a movie that's been, pushed back so many times, dude.
My expectations have been soured on that film since it's been pushed back like 30 times. But yeah, I'm still excited. I mean, the thing is, at this point, I'm more excited for the newer stuff than I am for a Black Widow film. But I'm really excited for Black Widow. Like, if that makes sense. Like, my most anticipated Marvel thing is Eternals. Chloe Zhao directing Eternals, and it's new. It's something new. Like, don't get me wrong. The Spider-Man boy in me wants to see No Way Home like crazy. But what's going to be the better film? Eternals. I think they're going to push Eternals for the Oscars. I'm actually predicting right now.
Here we go. Another big play.
I've been saying this. I think Eternals gets nominated for Best Picture, and I actually think it might win.
Wow. I mean, I think
Chloe Zhao comes in 2 years in a row. It just depends how other films turn out this year, because there are a lot of strong Oscar prospects coming up.
Yep.
But when it comes down to a superhero film, I think it's Eternals. I think Eternals is going to blow the water out.
I mean, all signs point to it with the cast that we have attached. Chloe Zhao directing, and I don't know what you thought of Nomadland.
Loved it.
I wouldn't say it was a perfect movie, but I really appreciate it. It's another film that's just so wholly unique.
Yeah,
and
in fact, it will win Best Picture. I don't think it should. I think Minari should be the winner of it this entire year. But Nomadland is incredible. It's a movie that I didn't. Have you seen The Writer?
I have not, but I need to see that. I need to revisit.
Really good. It's really, really good. But yeah, I love Chloe. And then after that, it's Doctor Strange, man. The reason I'm more excited about Doctor Strange is no leaks, nothing. The film's almost done. The film at the end of April is done filming, and we know like 3 things about the movie. We know who's in it, who's directing it, and that Bruce Campbell's cameoed in it. That's it.
And how sick is it that Sam Raimi is I mean, what better choice, dude, to do this film? I don't know how big of a fan of Evil Dead or the OG Spider-Man films you are, but
dude, I love Evil Dead's my favorite horror franchise of all time. Army of Darkness, man. Dude, I've rebought that film like 30 times. So, dude, I'm gonna tell you, I can tell you exactly. There's weird things that I remember. I can't remember fucking anything else. But me and my girlfriend were at freaking dinner, about to go see Birds of Prey. And I'm sitting there. I think it was Birds of Prey. Whatever. We're at the mall about to go see a screener, and I check my phone, and I see Sam Raimi directing Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I ran up to her, screamed of excitement, and I think she looked at me like, "Who the fuck is Sam Raimi?" And then I told her, and she goes, "Oh, because she loves the original Spider-Man films." So then she got excited about it. So. Yeah, I'm so, I mean, to be honest, dude, this is my most, man, I hope he ends up directing more in the MCU.
Please, man. Like you said, dude, a Spider-Man movie maybe directed by him in the future. I mean, please.
There's rumors that Sony might be talking about bringing back him and Toby. I don't think it. Toby's the one that's tough.
Yeah, I don't think Toby would be fully on board with doing it all again.
Is a huge fan of him, and he's gone to tons of Q&As that he shows up as a producer. And never stays for the Q&A.
This man does not he does not want to talk, man. And honestly, probably a lot of it is just fear of people asking about Spider-Man at this point. And the plethora of questions that come from that. I mean, he was amazing Spider-Man. I don't know who's your favorite Spider-Man, dude, or portrayal of Spider-Man.
I have an unpopular opinion. I like them all. I think
Dude,
each
great
one does
opinion.
something. I think Toby does better as Peter. I think Andrew's better as Spider-Man, and I think Tom is both. He's perfect as both. But I have little issues with Tom's films, even though I love him. I love Far From Home. I think Far From Home is a near perfect Spider-Man film.
Wow. Okay.
I think they try to connect it too much. That's it.
That's where it fell apart.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But man, I wish so badly that Andrew Garfield got to do more under that mask, because you see, man, his passion for that character and for those films was you could see it through his performance, and I wish we got to see some more Amazing Spider-Man. I don't hate those movies either. I don't know how you feel about them, but I don't hate those movies, man.
No, I like them all, man. They're not bad. They're enjoyable. They're not great, but they're enjoyable for the most part.
Absolutely. I want to touch on this. No, dude, you literally go to the film festivals, you see all the shows, all the blockbusters.
I try.
It shows, man. You're like we mentioned, you're pumping stuff out constantly. I gotta ask, does it ever feel discouraging when, let's just say, it's a Godzilla versus Kong review that absolutely blows up versus a review for an indie flick that maybe someone like myself is super interested in watching you talk about, but many people aren't aware of a lot of these films? So what's that experience like when you're reviewing so much and there's so much of a differential of the people that are coming to see your content?
It does suck. Like this last week, I did 2 reviews, more Voyagers and the Truffle Hunters, and it sucked. They didn't do great, but you never know. That's why I review everything, dude. True. You never fucking. I watched that. So I got that Unholy movie screener. I only got it because I didn't think I was gonna get Godzilla versus Kong early, and then I did, and I was like, fuck. Now I got to do another video.
Yeah.
And the video almost has 4,000 views. And I never expected that. The first day I had like 100. You never know what video's going to blow up. My most popular video is my Toy Story collection. And it had like 100 views for like 5 months. And then all of a sudden it's at like 400,000. Dude, you never know what video is going to do better or what video is going to do worse. So I've come to the mentality where like, if I'm there and I can do a video, I'm going to do it. That's why I'm trying to do more TV, because I feel like that conversation continues every week. Trailer reactions, again, those are hit or miss. Some do great. Space Jam, freaking almost 18,000 views. How the hell was I supposed to know Space Jam? I was expecting 2,000. Honestly, I was expecting 2,000. So
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I feel that too. I had one video, which I've now privated. I'm going to edit it a little bit and put it back up. But like my early spoiler review for Get Out, I mean, it had 20 views, and this is when I had like 300 subs. I had 20 views, and I woke up the next day with 7,000. It's like, what is happening? And it's just
you don't
the nature
know.
of the course, dude. Sometimes things just work, and sometimes things don't. And that's why you just have to keep on doing what you're doing, keep making stuff. Going back to you saying you want to get back into short films, dude. What are some ideas you have, and who are some directors that inspired the style you might want to not emulate necessarily, but a feeling that you get from watching those filmmakers' films that you want to provide to viewers?
Man, so it's tough because a lot of the ideas I have are stuff that needs like millions of dollars. Like, I mean, flat out millions of dollars. And then I have ideas where I could do as a short. I can make for a cheap budget. The thing with it all is it's tough because it's money. It's all money.
Yep.
But I have 2 ideas that I would rather write as a book and then see if I can get made after that.
Smart.
Because I think they work in so many different formats. In my head, the way that a story plays around is like, oh, how would it work as a video game? How would it work as a movie? How would it work as a book?
I like that.
And like the biggest thing that I have is I have this thing that's Lord of the Rings meets Mad Max Fury Road meets Attack on Titan meets Dune.
Whoa.
But it's its own, it's its own world, like its own mythology, its own everything. And I thought about this whole book outline. I don't know like all the specific details, but I know where each book starts and where it ends. And there would be 4 of them. Well, I think, 4. So the first one, it's completely different characters that you would like, that you don't even follow through the other ones, but it sets up, why is this world like fucking Mad Max now?
Yeah.
And then the second book takes place about this main character that you meet at the very end of the first one. And then he's your main character for the next 3. And then from then on, it's just this story that's really gratifying to see this kid. And again, it's very inspired by all those, just the world, the mythology, stuff like that, but it's its own thing. And that's something that I want to bring about. But I also have these mysterious ideas where or like these ideas of films, like an action film. You know, I just saw Nobody. I don't know if you've seen Nobody yet, but
yeah,
it's great. I was like a simple action film. Like I thought, what if like this guy gets a new job, absolutely hates it, but like every day he's applying for new jobs, and there's so many scams out there for jobs. And he applies for one, seems too good to be true, shows up to the job interview, guy hands him a gun and says, "You're gonna go kill that guy right now, or I'm gonna shoot you."
Oh, I like this concept, bro.
Starts from there. Like this guy who's living in a midlife crisis, just trying to get a job to support his family, ends up becoming a hitman over one night because of a job he applied to.
You and it's just like this movie, dude.
It's the misfortune of like just something bad happening, you know?
Yeah. Oh man, what a great dude. That's a fantastic idea, and I hope to see that come to fruition in the future because, and I feel the same, dude. I mean, it's all of our ideas are rooted from somewhere, watching film or from some, you know, certain directors, or like you said, like even watching Nobody, just inspiring the action vibe of something you want to create. And yeah, dude, it's so crazy how much
you come up with ideas like that.
Point. Yeah.
So, but that's honestly that's probably the next short film I'm gonna make is something like that, because I don't need that much money. I need my friends. I need some small equipment, but I'm gonna make that for the lowest budget I possibly can, just for fun. If it turns out good, you can take that short film,
make it into a movie,
and put Whiplash started as a short film, guys.
Yep.
It just takes that much.
Yeah.
You never know. So, you know, you just buddy up with friends. Like I have a friend who used to film all my other short films, never wanted to be on camera. He was great with a camera. Whatever angle I wanted, he would give his own perspective, stuff like that, and we would make it work. You know, and those short films, they didn't turn out how I wanted them to be, never. But they're memories that I have. Like I made a second one that was a terrible, terrible, terrible horror film.
Gotcha.
But it became more of a horror comedy as we were filming it. And I said, let's do it. Let's make it a horror comedy. And there are certain things in there that we did that I liked. And then I took to another horror film or another horror short that we did later on. And that one's a little bit more creepy, but it was more of me playing around with editing. Like we had this awesome trick where we were filming at my friend's apartment, but then we were filming at my house too. And I had this shot where pretty much my house is this nightmare she's going through, where her apartment's her new life, stuff like that. And there's a part where she backs up and I grab her as the creature and pull her in, and I edited it to where she's coming out of her door.
Wow.
And dude, hardest thing to do because we had to line it up perfectly.
I'm sure.
But we did, and we filmed it two or three different days, and we made it work. And like learning that prospect is a big thing, and I just really overall love that, man.
Yeah, and also saying, dude, just making videos and just learning editing, you pick up some cool things along the way, and you understand what goes into others' reviews once you start, or others' creative process, whatever it may be, once you start actually getting your hands on it, working with it. And it gives you, like you said earlier, it gives you a much greater appreciation for filmmaking and also, you know, film criticism as well. So
100%.
Yeah, man. I gotta ask. I know you're the king of rankings. I'm almost 1,000%.
Dude, no, that's Sean Chandler, man. But I like ranking a lot too, though.
Yeah, I appreciate your rankings because I always somehow fall similarly in line with and getting to talking to you now. I feel like a lot of our film tastes are actually very similar. So I gotta ask, dude. I know that Toy Story is one of your favorite films, man.
It's I put it this way, and people say I'm stupid.
Nah, let's hear it.
My favorite film of all time is Wolf of Wall Street. But if I was on a deserted island, it would be Toy Story I'd watch. I'd bring that film for me because that's my favorite. The all four of them I think are perfect. But continue with your question.
Okay, well I gotta ask, how would you rank them? Because I grew up with those films as well, and I think I have a very strange
changes every day. But as of right now, man.
Yeah, what is it today, Zach? Tell me.
My number one's Toy Story 2. My number 2 is Toy Story 4. My number 3 is Toy Story, and my number 4 is Toy Story 3. But again, ask me tomorrow, and
it would all flip flop. Yeah, I'm on the boat where 3 has been my favorite for a really long time, but just rewatched 1 and 2, man, and both those movies are perfect. They truly like 4? Are. I liked 4, didn't love it. It's for sure going to stay in that bottom category for me, but I still really appreciate
the ending.
Actually, that's one of the things I actually really liked about the movie.
Dude, I'm not even joking. I know I've cussed a couple times, but I am allowed to cuss, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, I am so fucking tired of people telling me that is not what Woody have done. You have not been in love if you've never been. If you've never been. I'm sorry, but you have never been in love. If you do not disagree, if you think that is the wrong thing for Woody to do, because what his friends do, his friends are telling him, "Go, be happy. You are not happy here anymore."
Yeah, because they're supportive friends.
That's the thing. And it's not like he won't see him ever again. He knows where the fuck they live.
Yeah, like, and they know where he is now, too.
Yes. Like, that is my biggest thing. I'm sorry. Like, if you disagree with that ending, I fucking hate you. I honestly hate you to God. Because that ending is... Dude, I saw that so early and I bawled my eyes out. I said that is the perfect ending to Woody's story. If we never get a Woody again in a movie, I'm totally fine with that. Because, like, the one criticism I could throw to that movie is I wish it focused more on all the original characters.
That's my big one as well. Yeah.
But a lot of those actors have passed away, sadly.
And
that's the thing you have to work with. And I get it. You want to pay tribute to those actors and have their voices still be in there. But then at the same time, it is tough. But I don't know what their plans are. I don't know if they're planning a Woody spin-off with Ducky Bunny and Duke Boom and all them.
Yeah.
And if they are, then I get it. Why you would because every Toy Story film introduces new characters.
A new set. Yeah, of course.
That's my thing, though. And that's also another reason that never really bothered me, because, like, Toy Story 2, I mean, honestly, the new characters are the ones that are kind of the big main characters. And then in Toy Story 3, yes, there's new characters, but, like, I don't know. Like, it's just like, for me, I didn't think it needed to be there. It was a Woody-centric story. That's what I got. Yeah. I was more worried about Forky, to be honest with everyone.
Oh, same here, dude. I remember seeing the first still of him, and I was like, this is not teaser, okay.
I cried during the teaser, but I was still nervous.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's my thing, man. Like, I love that ending. It was perfect, and it made sense for Woody's story. It is not... I still say Toy Story is the best trilogy ever. That is one of the best epilogues I've ever seen. Because I like that rounds out and finishes everything out. Because when I finished Toy Story 3, it felt like Andy's story was done, but it didn't feel like Woody's story.
That's a very good point. Wow, that's a really good point.
See, dude, this is why I'm so passionate about fucking Toy Story, man.
Yeah, man.
I have a whole shelf.
Which I've seen that video, man. It's sick.
And dude, and that's the thing. Like, I told my girlfriend, when we move out, like, I will. Like, because she told me, you can have your own room. You can have your own room with all your shit. That's all it's going. I said, that's fine. Dude, I'm making a whole dedicated Pixar and Toy Story area. But because I have more than that. That's just like my main central stuff.
Gotcha.
And there's more toys I want to get. There's a guy on eBay who 3D prints the ones that never got toys. So he makes all of Sid's toys. He makes.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Don't get me wrong, they're fucking expensive. But
I'm sure, yeah.
That's something that I would put my money towards to complete a collection. So I love Toy Story, man. And anytime someone brings it up, I'm gonna geek out and be excited about it.
I appreciate that, dude.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite franchise. It's my favorite thing. Dear God, if we get that Buzz Lightyear film that they're making next year, Jesus.
What are your thoughts? Okay. I was gonna say, I know some people are kind of fans, even are kind of worried about it, but I'm personally so hyped, especially got Chris Evans attached. Yeah,
it's definitely not a Toy Story sequel. It's like
its own thing. Yeah,
and I'm all for that. I'm excited. I'll just say that. Like, Pixar, the last couple of years have made excellent movies.
Agreed, 100%.
I don't think they've thrown a stinker out since Cars 2. Maybe Good Dinosaur if that's not your jam, but
even Good Dinosaur I still thoroughly enjoyed. It's
but like like Coco, Inside Out, Soul. Then we have Luca coming up.
Super excited for that.
I mean, they've all been great.
Yeah.
Onward was underrated too.
Yeah, pretty solid movie as well. I gotta ask, as a fan of Toy Story, where would you want that series? Do you feel like, because you said epilogue already with 4, would you want it just to stop there with those set of characters?
It's tough because I think Buzz's story is now open more. So I've said it, if you're gonna do another Toy Story film, do focus on Buzz and Jessie. But I also, you have Disney Plus, do a Toy Story show on there with them.
Oh, how cool would that be?
I think there's some fun small adventures you could do. Let's be honest, though, they will do another Toy Story film years from now.
They're gonna, of course,
and it will have everyone back in it. It'll have. Pixar's pretty strict when it comes to certain things that they do. I mean, look at Incredibles. It took us so long to get a sequel.
Crazy.
So
Yeah.
maybe we won't, but I do think those characters will continue. And I think they've talked about that those characters will continue in some way, shape, or form down the way.
Okay, man. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see whatever form that takes. I'm definitely excited about that Buzz movie. But you already mentioned it, dude. Wolf of Wall Street. I definitely want to chat with you about that film because it's one I haven't seen in a minute, but it's your favorite movie of all time. And I see you talk about it all the time. The time.
It's one of the movies I didn't like when I watched it. I thought it was kind of disappointing.
Wow, really?
But the thing is, I went home and I couldn't stop thinking about the damn thing. So I begged my dad again, who doesn't like to go see movies in theaters, to take me again the next day.
An extremely long movie too, dude. To have your dad go to again.
He loved it. He loved it.
Oh, so, really? Okay, cool.
Took me the next day, but it just dropped me off. Bought the ticket, walked me in, and left. Because that's and then returned his ticket, like pretended that he was leaving.
I hate this movie.
I wasn't with him. So I sat there and I'm like, I'm in awe. To be honest, when that movie came out on Blu-ray, I watched it every single day. Wow. And then it became a weekly thing where I just put it on the background and randomly I'll just put it on. I can quote that movie like crazy. It's again a movie that just it's fucking awesome, dude. Like I put it this way, Scorsese is my favorite director because he's literally doing movies that like Spielberg I don't think could do nowadays. He's pushing out punk rock while everyone's making fucking slow jazz, dude.
That's even a great way of saying
it. Dude, it has for a 3-hour movie, it feels like an hour and a half, and it flies by every time I watch it. So I love it to pieces.
Is that your favorite Leo performance? Before I share my thoughts on it, is that your favorite Leo performance?
He should have won.
I agree with that.
Stand by that. That's his best performance. I like The Revenant a lot. I really, really like The Revenant. He shouldn't have won that year. That should have been Fassbender's year. That should have been Fassbender's.
Dude, I don't know how familiar you are with my love for Fassbender, but dude, man, he needs some more recognition and award appreciation worldwide, please.
He has fucking been in shitty movies lately. He's in Taika Waititi's next film though. This year.
And he's pairing with David Fincher for a Netflix film coming out in a year and a half, I think. So that's all good news, man.
I kept thinking he was gonna show up in WandaVision, but that didn't happen.
Dude, okay, real quick, touching back on that, how much did you buy into that theory? Because when I saw that suit, I immediately thought that looked so much like Magneto.
It's literally his suit. It's
the female version of his outfit.
I'm
essentially.
Sorry. I'm fucking sorry. I don't know how you recast those characters. It's not if you're bringing Deadpool.
Exactly.
I have a whole thing on Deadpool too. There's ways I don't know how they're fucking doing it, dude.
That scares me, man. With Marvel's hand
I'm telling
on it,
you right now, though, if Vanessa's not in that movie, I lose a lot of interest.
Really?
Because I didn't love Deadpool 2. I did not love that movie, and it was because of her. She was not in it. She died.
Yeah.
And I get it. She came back, all that stuff. But this is a character that the first film works because of their romance. They set it up perfectly, and that's my thing. Wade Wilson works in a live action scenario. Yes, he's funny. Yes, all that. But you need an emotional attachment, and it is his relationship with Vanessa.
Yeah.
The best part about Deadpool 2 was Cable and Domino, which, again, are two characters that I hope to God show up. That's my one worry is, are you just going to say bye-bye to everything?
After everything, they set up that ending for everyone to come back, too. Exactly.
And that's my thing. How do you do it? My perfect ideal thing is, just say it's the multiverse. Let him show up. I think he should just show up in Doctor Strange for a quick cameo and be done. That's it.
How amazing would that be?
That's how you do it. Just bam, done. And then it's just he's in the world. He doesn't need to team up with them. He doesn't need to do any of that stuff.
Yeah, and that's exactly.
Did you hear what the third film was supposed to be about?
No.
It was a road trip between him and Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman was going to come back.
Oh man, that would be. Oh,
he was going to come back to be Wolverine for one more film.
That'd be so freaking cool, man. That's sad, man. I wish I didn't know that now. That sucks that we didn't get that.
It sucks. It's terrible. It's terrible, dude.
Yeah, but hey, touching back on Wolf of Wall Street, we went on a whole Marvel tangent there, which I love. But yeah, dude, I really love that movie. Obviously, it's not my favorite Scorsese film because I got The Departed on my wall, but
it's a great film too,
dude. Wolf of Wall Street's energy. I mean, think about how old Martin Scorsese was when he made this movie. It feels like a young man's game the entire time. It's so full like of energy.
A new director came in and directed that movie.
Yeah, and it's still like exactly like you said, dude. As long as it goes by like that. I feel the same way about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Gives me the same type of feel where it just Dude, that whole 3 hours just goes by like a breeze. It
You
feels
forget,
so nice,
you
man.
forget, and that's when you know a film's good, is when
Yeah.
it flies by like that. No matter how short or long it is, if you have to check the time,
So you're in trouble. Exactly.
there's a pacing issue somewhere in there.
Exactly.
Now get it, if you're checking the time, be like, okay, I got like 20 minutes before I gotta go to work or something.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
if you're checking the time, there's a problem with that film.
Yeah. Yeah. And Wolf of Wall Street, I might have to rewatch it tonight, man. I might have to rewatch
Do
it
it.
tonight.
That was the first film I watched this year. I usually try to make it my first film I watch every year.
Yeah,
So.
I gotta rewatch this whole row this year. I haven't seen these movies in about a year and a half now.
I watched Logan this year. I need to revisit The Departed though, dude. It has probably been about 8 years since I've seen that film, and I love it. I love The Departed.
Dude,
I watched Spectacular Now last year. I also watched Fight Club last year. So yeah, The Departed should probably be the next one I watch.
Dude, yeah,
list.
Please go revisit The Departed. I'll go check out Wolf of Wall Street again, and
go.
we'll link back up
There
and talk about it, dude. Yep, dude. First of all, Zach, thanks for coming on the show, man. As we wrap up here, I gotta ask. We touched on it briefly. What are some tips for some upcoming creators that see you as an inspiration, like myself, dude? Like I said when we're off air, your positive energy, your smile, bro, it keeps me going. It's really inspiring to see that energy in this space, which is filled with so much negativity and toxicity. And I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you.
Honestly, just make content. Don't go into it thinking I'm gonna be the next hot shit. Don't think I'm gonna make money or make a living out of it. That's how I went into it, and I failed. But then when I came back and said, no, I want to just do this for fun. And honestly, that's my mental goal this year, is to get back into it, just doing it for fun. Yeah. Honestly, like I've started reviewing My Hero Academia, and the first video did not do as great as I wanted to. Second one did a little bit better, still not as good. I'm still gonna do them because I like talking about the show. Yeah. I don't care if I could get one view on it and I wouldn't care, but at least that's one person. That's the way you need to view it. Make content, be organized, and just start. But the biggest thing is, like, you can start, like my first camera I used, dude, or my first light I used was like a little $9 light that I put a bulb in, just face towards me. Yeah. It's just finding the angles, and every video you should just strive to make better than the last one. Yeah. Find out what's your style, and then don't copy others. It's fine to copy, like, if you're like, oh, Sean Chandler did that ranking. That's pretty cool, interesting ranking. Maybe one day I should do that. And I do it because I want to, because I think it's enjoyable.
Exactly. That's the difference.
And that's the thing. I don't do it because I think I'm going to get the same success as him. I think I do it because it's enjoyable to me. I make thumbnails that I like and that are stylized. And yeah, they're heavily influenced by Stuckman and many others, but I like doing thumbnails like that. That's what makes it fun, which is like so funny, because I remember Uncut Gems, almost every content or every comment in my review is, you look like Chris Stuckman in your thing. I saw the movie before him. I just couldn't talk about it. I just couldn't talk about it till it came out.
It's so crazy,
man. I saw the movie in November and I was told not to talk about it till Christmas Day. And I was so pissed because every comment was that. I'm like, I made all this way before him. So people are like that, man. And that's the thing. Don't ever get discouraged, but find what your niche is. My niche is being positive. My niche is being like how I am and showing my personality. People subscribe to you because of your personality. The only way to get out there is to do videos, to do content, and just grow and learn. Learn the algorithm, learn what thumbnails people like, what's content, what titles, what things. That's what's going to make people like you. And I always put it this way, is like, people ask me, how do I see movies early? When the world gets better, apply to see films early on tickets. That's the easiest way to start, and go from there. Now, not every area is like that, but seriously, you can just start now. Yeah. And you'll never look back, but do it because you're passionate about it. Even if it's not about movies, if you're into games,
whatever it is, exactly.
Yeah. TV, anime, like Griffin from Film Speak, he was kind of trying to find his way. And I think in February, I told him, your big thing is video essays, man. I can't make a fucking great video essay to save my life. You make great ones. Mm-hmm. I promise you, if you do a bunch of video essays, your channel will blow up. He's gained over like 3,000 subscribers since doing that, guys. Mm-hmm. Sean Chandler, rankings. That's what his thing is. My thing is, honestly, what's working for me? These fucking Marvel shows and Star Wars shows on Disney+. That's a lot of people come to me to see what my thoughts are on that. And that's been a big discovery thing for me. But I'm also known as a Toy Story person. If I do a Toy Story video, I know I'm going to get views on it. I know I'm going to get certain things on it. But I talk everything because I just like movies. So and that's my thing. So just find your niche, find you, and just be you. Don't be shy, like, going into it.
Yeah, and it's okay to not get any views, like we just talked about, dude. We all had to start somewhere where we had 0 views, 0 subscribers. It's okay. And
Yeah.
it's going to take sometimes 15, 20, 30 videos, however many it takes. You're going to get better every video you make. So
Yep.
keep going. Don't stop and keep
Yep.
consistent, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, Zach, man.
Dude.
As we wrap out here, dude, I got to get some plugs from you. Where can people find you, Zach?
Man, you guys can find me on a lot of different spots. Zach Pope, just type that on YouTube. I should be the first person that pops up, especially even in Google. I run a website, wolfofgeekstreet.com. I also help out with Sandwich on Films. Yeah. But yeah, just Zach Pope. Type that in on everything. It should just pop up. I'm mostly active on Twitter. That's the thing. I'm trying to be better on Instagram. We will see if that works, especially TikTok.
Social media game is tough, dude.
Yeah, but Twitter is my favorite thing because that's where all the news pops up first.
Yep, constantly. Thanks for coming on, man. Like I said earlier, I really appreciate it. Thank you for being such a positive force in this space and pushing for that good, positive, kind discourse in film. We need more voices like yourself. So thank you for coming on.
And dude, anytime you want me back on, I'm here to talk. Like,
awesome.
This is probably hands down like one of the best things I've done. Flat
out. Dude,
I really mean that,
so
dude.
Much.
I really mean that.
That means a lot, dude. I really appreciate that. We'll definitely have you back on to either talk some Scorsese stuff, some Toy Story stuff. You got to come back.
Let's do it. I'm down.
Guys, thank you for watching or listening to another episode of Chew on This, wherever you're finding this. Obviously, we're on Anchor now. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can listen to podcasts. The show will be there, as well as YouTube. If you're watching this, obviously, we put in the video edits. If you're listening to this, the visuals are a lot nicer. So please come check out the video version. Leave a like, subscribe. Every comment helps. I love hearing feedback from you guys. If there's anyone you want on the show, please let me know in the comment section below, and we'll definitely try and get them on the show. I'm Michael Chew. You can find me on Twitter at Michael Chew for real, Letterboxd Michael Chew, and Instagram Michael Chew _. I'd like to thank Zach for coming on again. And it's been a great one. Stay in peace, guys. Later.